Hello and welcome back to another video, and today we're here doing another challenge. So I kind of do apologise for that because the last couple of videos, well I think this will make 4 videos now, will have just been a league race and the first challenge. So apologies for that. I'll try and put some other kind of videos together fairly shortly. Like I am still planning on doing some more SBK mods, but I thought obviously since it's not the San Marino GP this weekend. Is it actually the Italian GP technically? I don't know. I remember it has a really long name, the Grand Prix, so I'm not going to try and say it. But either way, I thought that since we're at the same track still, we can try and recreate what Sam Lowe's had to do last weekend, starting from the pit lane. Now, of course, obviously you can't have pit lane starts in this game, so we'll just try and simulate it. I did try and see if I could get into the pit lane entrance and just try and do it that way, so once the last rider had gone past the pit lane exit, I could just get out, but you can't get into the pit lane entrance, and even if you could, you can't actually see that far, so you wouldn't be able to tell when the AI have gone through. So instead, I've just looked up online about how much time he lost. He lost 12.5 seconds, so we'll call it 13, so I just won't go off the line until the timer says 13. But that's why I'm playing as Lowe's again. Obviously last time I did a Moto2 the first challenge at Andalusia, I think it was the last time we did it. I played as Lowe's then as well, but this time I've got a really good reason for it because we're trying to recreate this challenge. So in terms of tyres, then it is Misano, so medium front. I'm going to go for a hard rear on that one. You're not going to go with anything else here. Other than Catalonia, it's probably the worst track in terms of tyre heating on the rear. It spins so much. Without any further ado then, let's get straight into this race.
All the riders have taken their places on the starting grid. Riders are deep in concentration with just a few seconds to go until this San Marino Grand Prix begins.
So then, down here on the grid, I was getting ready to accelerate then. We'll go into power mode 2, but we'll wait. So I'm hoping the timer does come up. Yes, it does. So we're just going to wait till it says 13 to let the clutch out. So I've actually put a bit more fuel in the bike just so that I can use a bit more power mode 2 during this race, because of course, otherwise I'll probably struggle to catch up. So there we go, 13 seconds. Probably actually give myself an extra second there. Let the clutch out a little bit delayed. But we're off now. Oh, Jorge Martin's had a crash, so that's probably one less person to pass already, although he'd probably get back on in front of us. Some Cat Chantra as well, so be interesting to see what's happening there. I might have to look at the replay. Haven't done a crash analysis, as you guys sometimes call it, for a good long time, so could be a good chance to do. And I can see someone just in front of me. I think that might be Marcos Ramirez. There's been a few different crashes near the back. In terms of the performances in this race, it's just using the most recent version of Project 20 that's uploaded on the race department. I do need to tweak them. Oh, it's Hector Garza in front of us. So Hector Garza must have crashed as well, but he's only 4 seconds in front, so considering we should have lost 13, all this carnage on the first lap has obviously made it a lot less. You also have got to remember though, we've dropped 13 seconds straight away, whereas I bet Sam probably lost more than 13. He just would have caught back up to the slowest rider on the first lap, being a clean air. Of course you can go quicker, so he would have lost more than 13 seconds. You can see my fuel is already depleted a lot, so we're down to power mode 1. Well, apparently Ramirez has crashed, but he's also in 20th place, so I have no idea what's actually happened. Looking at the replay, it's definitely going to be something we need to do. Oh, I've gone in a bit wide, I thought I was going to crash then. But I wasn't sure whether to go through the 35%. Obviously last time in MotoGP we did the no overtakes on lap 1 challenge because the AI are so slow at this circuit. Whereas this time I thought, we'll do 35% because we absolutely dominated that. Marini has already gone over the line, obviously quite a while ago, so we are a good way behind. But of course AI are super slow at this track, although it is Moto2 and they're not too bad on that one. So probably not going to be going for the win today, but if we can try and emulate what he did he get 8th place I think, so if we can try and get 8th that would obviously be pretty good. But remember, we've only got 9 laps, he had the entire race, although this is a game and he had to do it in real life, so there is that to it. Medium tyre is actually overheating level on the front, so it might be worth going for hard if you're doing a Moto2 race around San Marino. But Hector Garza then, he's not too far in front of us now, 1.6 seconds ahead, so we go through turn 6, a rear sliding quite a bit. Hoping the audio is still a little bit better. I'm still trying to find sort of the right volume to speak at, and there's not a great room really in terms of the audio quality of sound. It's just, I can hear like a lot of echo, and I'm guessing that gets picked up. I have to go through and remove a little bit of the echo in editing, so that's definitely not so good. But anyway, we're 9 tenths behind Hector Garza, which actually, if you think about it, it's not too bad, because he was about 4 seconds in front of us about a lap ago, so we took about 3 seconds out of him in the lap. So Nagashima is overtaking Navarro, so I do need to obviously probably decrease the performance of Nagashima, Navarro, also Joe Roberts, because obviously he was quite good at the start of the season, but he's, you know, not been too good at San Marino. Well, that might just be because he didn't get on the track, but he was nowhere at Jerez as well, so he's had a bit of an inconsistent up and down season, so I might give him a performance a bit more similar to Remy Gardner. But either way, those two are winning. Canet actually in third place. Baby going to the last corner. I thought I was going for a move then on Garza. We obviously closed quite a bit up to him. Be interesting to see what my lap time is on this lap. 1 minute 36.1. We're close up a lot to Garza there. Actually was hitting him at the back because I'm looking at the time. So fast lap of the race, which is obviously to be expected. So we've now moved. Okay, I've just realised something, right? I was assuming I was in last place the whole time. I hadn't actually looked at the positions. I'm in 23rd out of 30. So here we go, the into Rio. Ooh, not quite on Ed Capon's, but those crashes on the first lap must have took out so many AI riders. There is literally 6 out of the race already. So as we go through turn 6, then a bit of contact with Ed Capon's. Oh no. So we've had contact with Pons. We picked up minor damage. Shouldn't be a massive problem. Who's that in front? Marcos Ramirez. So yeah, it does seem like the riders that crashed, some of them at least, obviously got back on. And that'll be why Ramirez was actually fairly high up still. The reason for that would be because so many people retired. So let's see if we can try and get past Ramirez on this lap as well. Obviously this is not a good sector for the AI. Curvone and the other corners, I don't know the other corner names. See Caro, they're not great through there, either through turn 12, then we're closing right up to Ramirez. He's left the door open, we've cut that corner a bit though, so we're not going to make the move, because obviously that would be unfair, but luckily we didn't pick up a penalty, although it is on the lenient corner cutting setting, so that would be why. Trying to get a good exit, looking for a move around the outside. Oh no, again I've corner cut. It's just because the AI has put me up a bit, so we've gone past Ramirez finally, as we go into the Misano corner. This is not going to be a fast lap of the race, I'll tell you that now, but we've already lost a lot of time. 37, so yeah, I can't be affording to losing a second a lap. I need to my previous times, obviously I need to start making moves, although I can see now there is quite a big train ahead, so that should take us up into the points, at least, so points is probably the main target, but if we can try and replicate what Sam actually did, that'd be great. I've just gone off the track, I am aware, but here we go. Oh, we've absolutely bashed Vierge out of the way, although he's still hanging in there. We've got past him, yes, go Raff in there. Oh, okay, Vierge's actually come back at me, and now I've got moderate damage, so yeah, this is not going to go very well. I was quite surprised by that. I don't usually do that. So Vierge actually sort of came back at me there. We're going to look around the outside through La Quercia. Is he going to pull it off? He's still on the inside, but I'm side by side back into Power Mode 1 because I don't want to use up too much fuel. But side by side, down towards the double rights, and we'll look up the inside of Raffin. We just can't quite do it. So on Moto2, you can't quite get the inside on the brakes like you can on GP. You probably can if you're a bit more familiar with it, but I don't really play it that much. Obviously I know the league races are there, but I literally only play the league race, don't really do any practice or anything like that. So through Curvone then, once again we're closing up, we should be able to get past Raffin here. Yes we have. Up into 19th then, Stefano Manzi up next then, the other MV Augusta of Corsi ahead of him. And then who's in front of them? Looks like Digi Antonio. So Digi Antonio, I'm not actually sure where he finished in 2 races at Misano, but well, he's not, the second one hasn't happened yet, so I'm going to say not sure. Well, I don't know where he's qualified today. We've just gone around the outside of Manzi whilst I've been chatting away about that. Try and get some slipstream off Corsi, but look at how much straight line speed we've lost. Obviously, the momentum to the corner wasn't great, but there was a lot of straight line speed deficit there to the MV Augusta, probably because of the damage we picked up. Oh, I'm kind of corner looking again. I kind of actually got a penalty this time. I took the Variante de Parco to the park chicane, past him. We're going to try and get past Digi. I was going to try and outbrake him to Rio, but I didn't even need to do that. So we're now up to 16th points, just in front of us then Remy Gardner. So I said the big train would take us up into points. The big train is points, and that should take us actually probably up to about 8th place. If we can try and catch up to the back of that train, that would be good. But yeah, the medium front, not a great choice either. So do bear that in mind, guys, if you do any races at Misano. Medium front not great. In fact, probably avoid the mediums if you can. I've not tried the soft front. The soft front might be better, but mediums just seem bugged in this game, so I wouldn't recommend using them. But anyway, I didn't actually see what the gap was to Remy Gardner there. It can't be too big because he's pretty close. If he's a little bit more power mode too, that's the reason why we put it in the bike. But I've got to watch out that I'm probably getting a bit more close to the limit. Obviously I've put 2 laps of extra fuel in just for that. We are closing up to Gardner, almost off the front there. Can we have an attack into Caro? Yes, we can. Up the inside to Caro. Up into 15th place and past Remy Gardner. Up next then, Ben Schneider. And then in front of him, Tom Luthi. We should be able to get Ben Schneider down into Misano corner. You would have thought Marini is now pulling away from Joe Roberts in the lead. So Marini's got quite a big lead. So out the last corner then, we're up into 14th now. Tom Luthi up ahead. So we now start the 6th lap of the race. Should be able to get past Luthi. I thought I was going to actually go around the outside of him into the first corner, but interestingly enough, managed to hang on. Is that... I don't even know who that... Oh, it's Balega in front of Siren. I was going to say, I'm not sure who that is in front of Siren, but either way, up the inside of Luthi, we should be able to get Siren down towards Rio, and we're also going to get Balega as well by the looks of it. He's trying to hang it in there. We've got in front of him... Okay, I've just seen that Fernandez is battling Kazma Daniel. I'm sorry, what? How is Kazma Daniel in the top 10? I have no idea how that's happened. Well, I mean, if that's how wacky this race is, it'll probably be Izdihar in front of him, but yeah, I guess those crashes on the first lap have caused some sort of chaos. I definitely need to have a look at those, that's for sure. So then, gap again. I wish you could just like look at a live gap, that would be nice. Instead of having to wait to the intermediate. So 0.6 of a second behind our teammate, then we've got a little bit wide. Hopefully we don't get dived on, which we haven't. But that front tyre really can't take it. Nagashima moves ahead of Aaron Canet then. And Luthi moves ahead of Siren just behind us. So through Curverne then. It's nice you can take that flat on a Moto2 bike, of course. Really close up to Fernandez. This is where the AI really lose time. I mean, look at it. We were 0.6 behind him into this sector, and we've passed him before Caro. So we're now up into 10th place then. Jorge Navarro up ahead of us in 9th, and then it's Kazma Daniel. So this 8th place is most certainly possible. Because we still have 2 laps to go afterwards. We haven't really made many inroads on Marini, so we've had similar place to Marini, so it's actually been quite a realistic challenge so far. But in the slipstream then, I have Jorge Navarro, 36.6, so we still aren't getting quite close that fast as we did on the second lap. We've got past Navarro now anyway. Next up is Kazma Daniel, and then it's Lorenzo Baldassari. I'm not sure who's in front of them, but I don't think I'll be able... I might be able to get past... Well, I should be able to get past Kazma Daniel and Baldassari. I don't know if I'll be able to get that 6th position off whoever that is. 5th is definitely not on the card, so they're too far in front. I think they're probably about 4 or 5 seconds up the road. Which, if we had a longer race, yeah, sure, I'd be aiming for the podium probably. But no, it's too far in front then. So Kazma Daniel... we should close up quite a lot, because obviously his AI skill is very low. So even though he's in a good position, it's just because of these crashes that have happened. Joe Roberts has actually just crashed. Joe Roberts has crashed. That's actually quite big, because he was running in 2nd position. Nakashima's crashed as well, so I'm guessing they crashed into each other. And yes, there they are, in the gravel. So this has definitely changed things up. Joe Roberts has really weirdly rejoined there. That's put us up into 8th place already, actually. So, of course, we were in 9th behind Kazma Daniel. We've now overtaken Nagashima. Roberts is just ahead of us up the road. We should be able to get past him, although he's looking for a move past Baldassari already. He's not waiting, but here we go. Up, looking at the side of Kazma Daniel, up into 7th place then. And who's that in front? It looks like Bastianini, but he's dropping back so much. He's losing so much time all of a sudden. It looks like we should be able to catch him up. And you know what? The guys in front of him are losing time. We might all converge on each other right at the end, but here we go then. We're looking for a move on Joe Roberts. Marini has got this race done. I've got more damage from that minor contact with Roberts. Yeah, Marini is actually setting fast laps to the race, so Marini's still doing absolutely amazing pace. But Canet is now in 2nd position, of course. We're half a second behind Lorenzo Baldassari. I've just done the fast lap of the race, actually. 36.0, so we are actually still lapping quicker than Marini, which is quite weird to think, considering the lack of grip, although the fuel load has come down. So maybe there actually is some sort of change in the bike as the fuel load goes lower. I've not really noticed. Bastianini's just gone so slow. Baldassari just hit him up the back. Baldassari's trying to go around the outside. We should be able to pass both of these if I can set them up through turn 6 properly. On the power through turn 6, use some power mode 2. We've got past Baldassari then in the slipstream of Bastianini. 4th place then. Should be ours. Around the outside. Yes, it is. I don't know about a podium now, because those guys... Oh dear, that was a bad crash. We have just kind of caused that, because I've ran wide and sort of pinched back in. Bastianini's had to get off the gas because of that, and he's been hit up the back and crashed. Joe Roberts is going to get past me. Oh, I've just had Joe Roberts off. That, and I've taken out Kazma Daniel as well, so that has unfolded very quickly, that race, hasn't it? Fernandez is also down now, so yeah. A bit of a messy lap for myself there. We've caused some absolute chaos. It's been a race of attrition, so no podium for us then. We need to try and get this 4th place back from Lorenzo Baldassari though, if we can. obviously this front tyre was not the right choice. Having quite a bit of that lately, not picking the right tyre, well, picking mediums basically would be the mistake. So I don't think we're quite going to be able to catch us in the back of Bezzecchi and Canet now, but we should be able to get past Baldassarri on this final lap of the race. If you ignore that carnage we just caused on the penultimate lap. We should get a pit lane start really for the next challenge, that's for sure. For that, although to be fair, I was just coming back onto my line and he just came underneath me, so not much I could do. We are actually gaining on them rapidly. Bezzecchi and Canet are losing so much time, and I'm actually not really catching up to Baldassarri much. So Baldassarri could be the one that ends up with the podium, and I could end up still in 5th place here. But hopefully we can try and make some more inroads on him. But I've just not got the pace. I've got even more damage from those collisions, and it's just affecting me a lot now by the looks of it. Yeah, the bike will not stop now. So I think that's me probably out of contention for the podium, unfortunately, even though I really... Well, it should have been mine if that thing with Roberts hadn't happened. Baldassarri cuts underneath up into 3rd place. If Baldassarri does get a podium after all, we should be able to get Bezzecchi, because Bezzecchi is struggling a lot. He's losing so much time. Can Baldassarri get past Canet as well? Of course, this is a section where the AI is super slow, so if we can try and take advantage of that, we might be able to make some kind of daring move. But I just remember we have got a penalty, so we have got to take that into account. So here we go then, through turn 13, down towards Caro. Oh, look at the inside of Bezzecchi. Oh, we've just clattered into Bezzecchi. We've hit him out of the way. I've got critical damage now. We're up into 4th place. Can we do anything about Aaron Canet with like a couple corners to go? Sliding that rear tyre, we've got to go for it down towards Misano corner. We didn't even need to dive into it. We've got past him already through the last corner, then we've got a half a second penalty now, so it's definitely not going to be this 3rd place, unfortunately, as Canet gets the drive. But not a bad result overall. Pretty decent comeback considering we had to give up 13 seconds on the first lap. It all fell apart really at the end of that one, didn't it? Which is unfortunate. I really wanted it to get a podium out of that. Obviously Marini's cleared off, which I think this might be some of the problems some of you guys have with the mod, with the performances being dodgy. I can't do anything about this. This is just a bug in the game, where the AI... Once the Moto2 AI, it happens in Moto3 and it happens in MotoGP a little bit, but once a Moto2 AI gets out front, because there's no traction control of course in Moto2, it makes a bigger difference because they're just not affected by tyre wear. They just do consistent lap after lap after lap, and that is what you see there. Marini with a 12-second advantage. He got 13.9 seconds over Bezzecchi, who in the mod has the exact same performance stat as him. So absolutely crazy stuff there, but 5th place in the end, pretty good from right at the back, although there was a lot of retirements. I mean, I did contribute to some of those at the end there. How many people actually finished? So I cost Bastianini, Roberts, I think Fernandez as well got caught up in that. But yeah, quite a lot of retirement, so it's definitely worth having a look at some of those. I want to see what happened, that's for sure. So it's on board with Canet then. As we go off the line, down towards the first corner there, you can see myself just sat there. Marini goes for it into turn 1. I've forgotten I've got the skin on by Jack that's got the weird maps problem. So here you go then, through this section. I think there's been a crash in the background already. Coming through here, Martin's clipped Bastianini and fell off, and oh wow. That is where the big crash has happened that's taken out all the riders. We've got to go have another look at that one. So on board with Martin then, he flicks the bike right, of course. He's now in front of Bastianini. He's clipped Bastianini. His bike's just then skittled across the track. He's collected bin. He's been hit by a couple of different bikes there, you can tell, and that's him obviously out of the race straight away. And then we're on board with the race winner. If we look at someone that was right in the thick of it, sort of Dalla Porta, so you'll probably see the end of the crash. So you see the first bike, and yeah, it's hit both Petronas bikes. I think it's took out Dixon and Vierge, and the bikes are still going down in towards Rio, and they've actually still collected more people into Rio. I think Edgar Pons... oh no, so what's happened is then, there's the Team Asia bike still, and one of the Petronas bikes is Jake Dixon. They're going down into here, and they've clattered into the side of Edgar Pons, which has actually had... is that Remy Gardner there? I think so. Oh yes, yeah, it's Remy Gardner into the side of... who is on the inside then? Manzi, and that's clipped Dalla Porta as well, so absolutely horrendous accident. So if we try and get on board with someone that didn't crash, so we can use TV replay cam. So on board with Augusto Fernandez then, but we're on the TV cam. Here you can see through here then, massive accident. That's where all the bikes go flying up in the air. And wow, it's just a chain reaction. All the bikes are sliding in. So if we swap, it's a problem that it's done in race order. So there you go. You can see the Petronas bike come flying in, just clearing out all these people. Which took out Who's on the inside? Oh, that is literally the Petronas bike on the inside of Marcos Ramirez as well. So that's how Ramirez ended up crashing Raffin as well. So absolutely horrendous accident. So many riders being taken down just by Martin's error. So I thought there was just a load of crashes on the first lap, but no, it's just an absolute mad chain reaction, which is unbelievable. So we're on board with Vierge then. So he's the first one to hit Martin's bike. There's an Intact GP in there as well. I think that must be Schrotter then on the ground, because I'm sure Luthi was in the race, and this is why we saw Garzo and Co coming out of the gravel. I did wonder how they'd ended up in the gravel there, but that does make more sense, because typically you wouldn't slide that far if you just lost the front. So on board with Schrotter then, you can see he sat in behind Remy Gardner. You see the initial crash, you see it clip into, oh, that was massive. He got like wheelied up in the air by that. So he hits into Vierge's bike and sends him up in the air, and he's sort of done a flip. Wow, that is pretty incredible. So we watch on board Dixon then. Dixon's got nothing to do, he just cuts his teammate's bike. Nothing Dixon can do is what I meant to say, and I think Villegas kind of just steamrolled his way through that somehow. Really not sure how he's done that. Ed Capon's actually steamrolled his way through initially, but yeah, obviously it's the Petronas bike of Dixon that's took out those people, and he's retired after those several pieces of contact. So I think that pretty much sums up this game in a nutshell. Massive accident, absolutely ridiculous, charging through a field of AI, and basically one of the worst bugs in the game being shown. Marini pulling away by an absolute mile. However, in his defence, riders that are finished behind him should not really be that close to him. Although Canet started on the front row as well, so Canet should have been up there. Bezzecchi as well. So yeah, Bezzecchi definitely, but Bezzecchi should have the same performance. Obviously Joe Roberts ran with him initially, but in Moto2 the AI sometimes just get out front and they can just do laps as if they're on a fresh tyre, which is disappointing. I could have had a 100% race and not caught up to Marini, because he would have stayed 13 seconds in front of me. I mean, in effect he was, by the end, he was 13.9 seconds ahead of me, and I gave up 13 seconds at the start. Alright, you've got to take into account that maybe probably about 2 or 3 seconds behind him by starting last as well, and of course we had a lot of contact, so yeah, we caught him by like probably about 5 seconds, but I think even with a full length race I would have struggled to have caught up to Luca Marini. But I think that's the main takeaway from this one. The AI sometimes have absolutely massive crashes, can pull away, and don't use the medium tyre. I think that's all I can really say. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that one. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Hope you're all staying safe, and I shall see you in the next one.